BowmanDigitalMedia.com. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Mondays. My name is Ira Bowman. I am your host, and this is the show weekly where we talk about all things marketing. And today we're going to talk about a few things mostly related to the definition of marketing and what some of you are doing in mass that's really actually hurting you. It's stumping you, and I want to help increase the visibility and awareness of that so that you can get better. If you have questions for the show at any time, you can drop them in the comments. We did have one question already from Paul O'Shea. He said, "Is it over?" No, my friend, we are just getting started. So welcome. If you have marketing questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments, and we will get those on. Typically, I take questions as they come, so you can ask them at any time. The first thing that I want to do today actually is kind of go back to the very, very basics. What is marketing? Well, marketing, if you don't know, a lot of people think marketing is sales, and marketing is related to sales, but marketing and sales are actually different. And so I want to just, oh, actually I pulled it up already. Okay. So what I did first, I went to just Google, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people do that. I went to Google and I said, let me see what Google says. What is marketing when you put that in? So if you haven't done that, that's actually not a bad idea. I'm not in love with the definitions, and I have to understand I have a degree in marketing. So I don't necessarily agree with the Wikipedia definition here, but let's just pull it up. What is marketing is the question. And I think because some of you think it's like, I don't know, it's sales, it's advertising. Those are different things. Now, marketing encompasses those things, but marketing isn't those things, if that makes sense. So we'll get into it. So marketing refers to activities a company undertakes to promote the buying or selling of a product, service, or good. It is one of the primary components of business management and commerce. Marketers can direct their product or other business B2B marketing or directly to consumers B2C marketing. So you have two different categories there. It's already trying to break it up, which I don't like it because you haven't really defined what it is yet, but that's okay. The marketing mix, which outlines the specifics of products and how it will be sold, is affected by the environment surrounding the product. The goods of marketing, marketing research, and the characteristics of products target market. Once these factors are determined, marketers must then decide what methods will be used to promote the product. This is actually, golly, this is really the first thing I actually strongly wanted to say. Yep, that's it. Okay. Let me break this down for you really, really simply, because these definitions, I understand why you guys are confused after looking, and I'm like, what is that? Let me tell you what marketing is. Marketing is trying to figure out who your audience is, what tendencies they have, what future activities they're going to do, and how, if at all, you can influence them. And we're looking at data. It's all data. So when you think marketing, what I want you to think of is like trying to predict the future and trying to influence future outcomes. We build marketing campaigns, whether it's B2B or B2C, right? Business to business or business to consumer. That's all secondary. Marketing at its root is understanding what is supposed to happen. And then if you're really good at marketing, your campaign is successful, you can influence what people are going to do based on what you know about them. So we look at demographics a lot. We break down numbers upon numbers upon numbers upon numbers. That's what marketing is. It isn't advertising. Advertising is what? You create a radio spot or a TV spot, or more recently, something for social media or websites. And, that's advertisement. We have pictures, we have slogans, we make a campaign, advertising campaign. Well, is that marketing? Yes and no, right? Advertising is that. It is creating these campaigns, but marketing is more about why. Why am I going to even put a spot there, right? For example, are you trying to figure out, should I be sending emails? Should I be making phone calls? Should I be creating, Google ads? Should I this or that or some combination thereof? Marketing is what helps you figure all that stuff out, where you should be, what you should be doing, how much of it you should be doing. That's what marketing is. Okay. So ideas on building local community following with the food truck. So I'm sure there's a question in there, but I hate to presume what it is. So just let me know what the actual question is, and I'll be happy to help you. But you're certainly in the right spot, it looks like. Okay. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, Mariella. It's good to be back in California. I just got home last night at 10 something. So I was in Vegas. For those of you who don't know, I was in Vegas this weekend, had a blast. I'm going to be sharing some pictures. I did a photo shoot while I was in Vegas. That was the purpose of the trip. But we had some fun. We met some friends. I went to my old church. It was a good time had by all, I think, except for the traffic. It seems like me and a million other people decided to go to Vegas this weekend. So Vegas was booked to the, it was so bad. Saturday night, I'm like, okay, we got to go out to eat. We go several places, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 places on the strip. Everything's booked. Okay, we'll get off the strip. We go to some tiny little restaurant that no one that's ever visited Vegas has been to. And the same thing. They were all booked up too. No reservations, no eating. So we ended up eating at this little place that was, I don't know, 40 minutes off of the strip. I mean, I promise you, none of you have heard of that place. I grew up in Vegas, and I heard of it because I used to go there when I was a kid. But anyways, yeah, it was really interesting how full Vegas was, which is really good. So, wow, hope the photo shoot went great. It did. I'm still not done. Okay, in full disclosure, for those of you who know anything about photography, I shoot in RAW. So it is kind of funny when I take pictures, everyone's, hey, send me a copy of that. Yeah, it won't do you any good. You won't be able to open it. And I didn't take my computer with me anyway, so I wasn't even able to access it till I got home last night anyway. So I'm still importing and exporting the raw files into JPEG so that I can even look at them. I haven't even really got to see them yet. I've still got about half of them to go. I shot 953 photos over the weekend, so I've got a few to go through. But I saw some of the fighting stuff that I took, and they came out good, so that's cool. And I'm going to be recreating. He's got a logo. I'm going to recreate the logo in a vector format, which will be kind of fun. So marketing a mobile business. Again, I know there's a question there. I really believe there's questions here, but we'll get to it. If you're just looking for general marketing advice and information, you're in the right place. In fact, if you go to my website, bowmandigitalmedia.com, I have a bunch of these episodes already recorded, and some of the blogs will help you too. So check that out, bowmandigitalmedia.com. All these episodes go there. Last week, I did an episode. I haven't posted that on the website yet. I did a video on how to make videos. You might want to check that out, Paul, or anybody else is looking to advertise or market your business, because videos are one of the most underutilized but most effective tools that you can use right now for marketing any business on any platform. Your website, social media, email campaigns, videos are really hot. So I teach you how to take videos using your phone and how to make some pretty powerful dynamic videos without making the number one mistake. I'll just remind everybody, if you missed last week, most of you consume your phone like this vertically. So you shoot your videos like this because this is how you're used to holding your phone. What I want you to do, well, in this case, I'd want you to rotate it this way so the camera was up. But most of you need to start shooting your videos like this. Unless you're only shooting for Instagram, then go ahead and keep it that way. That's fine. But everything else, go ahead and shoot it this way. Why? It's because of the proportions of the screen. So your pixels, if you're looking at the resolution of a screen, for most shots, it's 1920 by 1080. And that's wider than it is tall. So when you take it this way, you get more of the video, and it's bigger and it's better for everybody to see. Plus, it gives you space to do the picture-in-picture stuff like the titles and the pop-ups and those types of things. So when you're shooting it like this, you're doing yourself a disservice. So if you want to make better business videos, go ahead and rotate your camera sideways. That's the easiest way to say it. So there's a little tip for you, a reminder from last week. And again, you can catch all my videos on my website, bowmandigitalmedia.com. Or if you don't want to do that, you can go over to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, which is just Ira M. Bowman, and you can check them all out there as well. Okay, so yeah, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. That's what I'm here for. All right, so let's get into this a little bit more. What is marketing, everybody? Marketing is trying to figure out what it is you should be doing so that you can catch the attention of your audience. That's really what it is. And then when you catch their attention, you want to get them. You want to move them to something, right? This call to action. You want to, now that you caught their attention, you want to get them to fill out a form or download a file or watch a video, refer a friend, whatever the activity is that you want them to do. You're trying to influence them positively. But the very crux of marketing is not even that. It's identifying who they are. What's happening in your vertical market? So what are your competitors doing? What's the industry doing? What is the industry doing for the people that you are calling on? So let's say, for example, Paul O'Shea, I'll break this down for you a little bit. So he is in the mobile marketing business. So he's looking locally, right? He's not really interested in what's happening nationally, although I would say it's good to keep an eye on what's happening nationally, because sometimes your market might be a little bit further behind other markets. For example, when I was in the Bay Area back in 1999, 2000, I was just entering into the print business. And in the print business in the Bay Area, we were at a certain spot. In 2002, 2003, something like that, I moved to Ohio. And because I had a marketing background, I was able to figure out that Ohio was actually further behind in the business curve for technology than the Bay Area was. And when I say that out loud, most people will probably go, oh yeah, of course. But it wasn't necessarily the obvious thing. So anyways, in that, I was able to predict really easily what was going to happen next in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. In fact, all the surrounding states, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, right? Those are all states that I called on. So I was able to figure out the trends. What's coming? What's trending next? And because I already knew what was coming, I was able to create a campaign that I successfully was able to capture the attention of the people I was calling on and get them to make a move into the future, which was digital. So scanning things digitally, reproducing things digitally instead of going to an old blueprinter and getting things done a static copy, right? So now we could improve the quality of the copy or the print or the scan. We could reduce file sizes. We could make it easier to email and communicate, to archive, all these things. I was ahead of the curve on that in Ohio. In California, I was right there in the middle of it. But when I moved, then I was able to get in front of it, and that helped me generate a lot of revenue. So that's the kind of information that you're looking for nationally, even if you're a local business only calling on local customers. If you can figure out, hey, over here in Hawaii or New York or LA or Chicago or wherever outside your local market is, if they're doing stuff that's ahead of the curve for your market and your market's going to end up moving that way, then you can figure out what are they doing, what is being successful, and how can I implement it. So one of the things, Paul O'Shea, that I would tell you is if you can find other food truck vendors in other towns that are successful and just have a conversation with them, that could really help you. Because what is it that they're doing different? For example, one of the things that I noticed in Las Vegas, I was just in Las Vegas. We didn't stop at a food truck, but we went out to eat a lot because we didn't cook anything while we were there. And I had 9 people in my party, right? It was me, my wife, and 7 of our kids. So there was 9 of us total. So we were eating out every meal and snacks and all that stuff too, right? So one of the things we saw everywhere was the QR codes, menus with QR codes. So maybe you can move the line faster if people could, A, know what they want by the time they get to the front window, and B, maybe even place their order, because we noticed that too. It wasn't just, look at the QR code to see what we have on our menu, but it was also place your order, and then it becomes more of a pickup window than an order window. And so that may or may not help you, but that's one of the things that you can research. You could test it out. You could have it there, and then no, people aren't required to use it, but if they want to, it speeds things up. Also, it can help with payment. If you're still doing cash only, then you could tie in electronic payments with a PayPal or a QuickBooks or however you're going to accept your payments. So anyways, couple of things there. This is my buddy Tim Miller. Brother, how you doing? I was in Vegas this weekend, so I actually didn't get to see him. Usually I see him on Sundays and Wednesdays. So hope you're doing good there, Tim. See you soon. Okay, so other things that you could potentially look at, Paul, when you're going, right? You've got, I'm sure, a route. Most of these food trucks have a route that they're traveling. What other companies are in the vicinity of where you are? You want to do some research and find out, if you can, what time do they have their breaks? Because maybe you can squeeze in extra breaks or even change locations based on break times. Like, well, I go here and I make a certain amount, but if you switched it up, how are you going to do that? Well, with marketing, part of it is getting your information out there, right? So this is the visible part. Social media, Google ads, things like that. And again, if you're in a different business, you can think along the same lines. Who is your target audience? Who is it that you get to agree to let you pull your truck up and be there? Do you coordinate that with anybody, or you just randomly show up in lots? I'm thinking you probably, if you're successful, are doing a little bit more than just showing up randomly, right? So part of that is figuring out, who is it? Is it the office manager? Is it the owner? Is it somebody else, right? Who are you reaching out to? Where are they? Are they people who use the phone more, so texting? Are they people who email, read their emails? Are they people that you got to write a letter to? I'm thinking probably not. But in some cases, when you're dealing with people in a demographic that are older, then they might respond to letters and emails or phone calls better than a text, or a social media post. So you just have to identify who your target audience is, no matter what you're marketing, because everything else should be based on the audience, not on your preferences as a business owner. Like I hear so many people say, well, I only use LinkedIn because that's my favorite. Are you buying from yourself? Like if you're in business to sell yourself, then you're doing the right thing. Think about what I just said there. If you are in sales or marketing, or you're a business owner and you're only considering your preferences, you're a fool, and you need to hire somebody to manage your marketing for you because you don't know what you're doing. Okay. If that was an epiphany for you, then you need help, and get some help. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to help you out. Like you don't get it. You need somebody who can think marketing for you so you can run your business. And that's probably my advice to most of you anyways, in full disclosure, right? You probably need some help unless you have a degree at this or you're just naturally gifted at marketing. But what is marketing at its core is identifying your audience, understanding your industry, looking forward into trends. Now, going backwards is fine because you can learn some lessons from the past, but you've got to be able to apply them to future, because we're not going back in time, right? I couldn't go back to Cincinnati, Ohio today and duplicate what I did when I did it the first time 20 whatever years ago. I can't do that because the industries have changed. The time has changed, right? So timing is an important component here. And that's why I like to look future for marketing. I do look at lessons from the past. I do. But I spend most of my time thinking about what's coming. That's why I like trends so much. And if you can figure out what markets are like yours, but a little bit ahead of you in the chain. So for a lot of you, I know you don't like California. You think we're all crazy and nuts and all these things, but I'm going to tell you a secret. If you haven't figured this out, the country tends to follow California. As crazy as you think we are, and as much as you like to tease us out here in California, you know, I've heard it all. We're the cereal state, nuts, fruits, and flakes, right? I've heard it. Every joke you can think about, I've probably heard it. The crude ones and the not crude ones, which I appreciate the non-crude ones better. Okay. But here's the thing. If you're looking at LA, or if you're looking at San Francisco, or if you're looking at, California as a whole, typically if you're looking at it honestly, your market will eventually follow what we're doing, like it or not. It just is what it is. So look ahead a little bit. In most cases, we're ahead. So if you look to us, you can figure out what's coming in your market. Now, that may be that's too far ahead for some of you, right? If you're in some places where, it resembles more like the year 2000 than it does the year 2020, then maybe you don't want to look to California. You want to look somewhere a little bit, slower on the adaption scale. So part of what you should be doing is figuring out markets that are just a bit ahead if you can, because if you're at the very front end of marketing trends, it actually can be a crapshoot. I mean, a real crapshoot. What's going to happen? But if you are a little bit behind the curve, so you guys tend to follow more than you lead, as a business owner, that's actually a better place to be, because it takes a lot of the guesswork out. So again, if you can find peers who are not in competition with you in other markets, especially if those markets are on the leading edge, or at least they're ahead of you in your market, and ask them what's coming next. Pay attention to what's working. Also ask them what's failing, because sometimes you're going to try some new technology or some new apps or whatever. You think it's going to work, and then it bombs. And that's marketing too. We analyze the data, good and bad, and we make adjustments. We course correct based on data, not on personal preferences, right? Now, I'm not saying that personal preferences don't have a place for you in your marketing efforts and the way you run your business. There are opportunity costs that come when you do that, though, right? So, for example, I do not animate anything. You're never going to get an automated email message from me, or text message from me, or any spammy nothing from me. If you get it from me or my company, there was a real person who sent you a message, and it was to you basically by yourself, unless you see someone else in the to line or the copy line. We don't blind CC anybody, and we don't do anything in mass, in bulk. We don't. Does that come with an opportunity cost? You better believe it does. And am I okay with that? 100% I am. Every bit of information you get from our company comes from me, from my wife, from my daughter, from Sabrina, or from Mariella, and that's it. There's five people that could send you an email, and that is what it is. Okay. So why do I do that? That's my personal preference. Is that the way I recommend you run your business? Well, if I'm advising you as a client, I could tell you the merits of why I do it, and we could talk about that right now if you guys are interested. But no, business wise, there is a place for automating things. There is a place for it, and most people should do it. I know exactly why I do it, but I also advise my clients to use automation where it is appropriate. Now, on LinkedIn, automation is actually illegal. It's against their policies. So if you're doing it, you're putting yourself at risk. So I not only don't think it's smart on LinkedIn, I would advise you not to do it. Why? Not because automation is bad, but because LinkedIn says you're not supposed to do it. So, I'm one of those guys who likes to follow the rules. Do you agree that random marketing texts are annoying? I personally do. That's why I don't send them out. In fact, I disconnected with 2 people today on LinkedIn who sent me spam messages because I don't appreciate it. Look, if you're engaging me as just another potential customer, you're probably not going to stay connected to me. I'm a guy I like relationships. I'm a relationship guy, right? So rapport building, real authentic communication never bothers me. I connected with a lady. In fact, she made a post. I was her very first follower on LinkedIn. She didn't have anything on there, but I've been telling people, look, I'll follow everybody on LinkedIn. I have been doing it for years, and I follow more people. I have 192,000 followers on LinkedIn. I follow more people than follow me. So she said to me in a private message last night, she goes, I just want to pause for a minute and thank you that you were the first person to follow me. You have this huge network. I had no information, no picture. You had no reason to follow me other than, I followed you. And I said, yeah, exactly. But you also didn't spam me. And you didn't treat me like I was a meal ticket. You just treated me like a person. So she emailed me back, direct messaged me back, and she goes, hey, I'm thinking about making my very first post on LinkedIn. What do you think I should say? And so I gave her some advice. She took the advice. She said, hey, do you mind if I tag you in a post? I just want to give you, a little credit. And I said, sure, I don't mind at all. So she did it. And at that point, I had not connected with her yet because I'm typically at that 30,000 cap, right? There's a limit. You can have as many followers as you want, you can follow as many people as you want. But on LinkedIn, just about every social media platform, they do have limits on how many people you can be directly connected to. And so LinkedIn is 30,000. So, but because 2 people spammed me and treated me like, or I was a robot, I had room. So I gave her one of the spots. Anyways, so now she has like 40 followers, but still doesn't have a picture. She doesn't have much in there, but I think, she's got the right idea. Talk to people like they're people. Even if they have 100,000 followers or whatever they have, just treat them like a person. Do that with me. It's going to go a lot farther than you treat me like, I don't care. Look, if you spam me, I'll disconnect with you. I'll block your email address. I don't want, I had somebody with a large network on LinkedIn over the weekend. They sent me 3 emails. They were all automated. I know they're all automated. In fact, the last email, the guy basically admitted it. And he says, don't worry, I'm not going to be emailing you anymore. And I'm thinking, that's okay. It doesn't matter because you're now in my spam folder. So whatever. But I just don't see the logic in that. Why do you want to send a bunch of people a message and irritate most of them? Maybe you do get a sale or 2, but think of the opportunity cost. What did it just cost you? That's the thing that most of you, I think, are being short-sighted with these mass messages. You think, I'm just going to race to send this well-crafted message to as many people as possible. And you don't realize that we can all see through it. I mean, we're not stupid. Most of us aren't. I mean, you know how many messages I get every single day because of the size of my networks? You know, a lot of you think, oh, he's big on LinkedIn. You know, I have tens of thousands of followers on multiple platforms. I think on Instagram right now, I'm at 51,900 and something, right? On YouTube, I've got 10,000 followers just on YouTube, right? Subscribers is what they call them there. But I get a lot of messages from a lot of people every single day. And you guys are not that original with your mass messaging. In fact, a lot of you are using the programs you're using to send the mass messages have these default, starter templates, and you're using those, and so is everybody else. I'm like, if you're going to send me a mass message, at least mix it up so that it's something I haven't read before, because I will read it and then I will decide what to do with it. I will either block you, delete you, or engage with you based on, the message itself. So anyways, in your marketing efforts or your sales efforts, if no one's told you this, when you're mass messaging people, you need to make sure that your message comes across authentically. Don't make it so obvious that, hey, fill in the blank, I work with this company and we're so great and you should buy our products because blah, 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 blah. And if you're not interested, you can go ahead and hit the, please unsubscribe me from your message list down below and I will never bother you again. Yeah, we've heard that before. You know what I mean? Like, we've heard it before. In fact, let me give you some helpful marketing tips. This will actually work for all of you, every one of you. Don't send emails that are more than 3 or 4 sentences because nobody wants to read your scroll, right? Make sure you ask an open-ended question in your email. Make sure your website's in there. And if you're really smart, embed a picture, and then in that picture, embed a link to a YouTube video so that you can talk to people, because most people don't want to read, but they'll watch. And then in your videos, if you're really smart, add closed captioning, because most people are watching the videos with the sound down. So then you get all of it. You get the advantage of everything. You've got an open-ended question. You're asking for a response. You've got short text. So it's when they open it, they don't get overwhelmed, right? It's visually like, okay, I can actually read this. It's easy to consume. You've got a picture in there for those who are visual, and you've got a video for those who want to just watch their message, and closed captioning for those who are watching with their sound down. If you do that, I promise you, you'll have a much better open rate and click-through rate for those of you who understand what marketing is, okay? Why is your business different? Yeah, so I'm going to disagree with you here too. I like where you're going, but the problem with most people and their marketing messages, it's about them. What do you need to build to gain a customer? What do you need to actually earn a customer? Is not who you are and what you do. You need that person to know you, like you, and trust you. So you want to know what you really should be doing, everybody? Stop talking about yourself. Start asking questions about them. Get them to talk to you about them. Then once they know you, like you, and trust you, now you have a foundation to actually start engaging with them about you. Until that, shut your face. Nobody cares about your company. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that hurt your feelings? That's real. You are not going to catch the attention of people because you've been in business longer, or you do it better, or you can save them 15%, because nobody believes your crap anyways. They just don't believe it. Hey, Mahid, how you doing, brother? So until they know you, like you, and trust you, your message about you is going to fall on deaf ears. You're just spam. It really is that simple. So when you're reaching out to them, I'm going to give you an example. In fact, I don't normally do this at all. I'm going to show you a message. I'm actually going to show you real world. I have to open my email here to do this, but I'm going to show you guys an email that I'm actually sending out right now. I send it out one at a time. It's addressed to one person, but I'm giving away something in this email. They don't have to go to my website. They don't have to fill out a Contact 7 form. They don't have to do anything. And you know what I'm giving them? I'm giving them something that every one of them need. It isn't about me. It's a gift. I know what they're struggling with. I've crafted a video to help address it, and I made this email short and sweet to catch their attention. So I'm going to show you guys what I do. Well, an example of what I do, because I want to give you guys like real world. This is what you need to do. So hang on a second. It's just opening up. I didn't have my Outlook open because I don't typically check emails during the show. So hang on a second. I gotta bear with me. I know this is great. It's great TV, but I think it'll be very helpful. Okay. Because the idea here is simple. The idea is a lot of you guys I know what you need. You need clients. You need sales. Look, I was in sales for over 20 years. Business to business sales. I had a quota every month. Started over. Had to hit those. Yeah, a lot of the professors are wrong. They didn't like me much in school, even though I got good grades, because I would argue with them, and they couldn't argue back. I mean, they could, but it didn't make sense. So the problem is a lot of the people, they don't have any real world experience. This is what makes me dangerous, because I made my living in sales for over 20 years. So I know what actually works, and I have a degree in marketing. So I understand like the concepts that they're trying to teach. And I'm telling you, it's crazy how wrong people can be about these things. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you. I call this the second touch email. I'm going to show you this right now. Okay. So here we go. So we can talk about subject in a second, but looking to supercharge your network on social media. Look, it's going to say hello and then whatever their name is. We type that in there. But looking to supercharge your network on social media, I start with a question, because most of you are not asking questions. So why would they even respond? Because they don't know you, like you, or trust you. So I'm asking them a question. And then I say, we've put together a free video to help everyone learn how to get more out of social media. Please watch it here. Look, that's a YouTube link purposely. I'm not taking them to my website. I could easily have done that, but I don't want them to think there's any catch. So they don't have to sign up for anything. That's why I'm using YouTube there. If you don't have time to engage on social media, but you're looking for help, please consider hiring our team to build your digital audience. I almost didn't put this whole sentence in there because I didn't want people to think there was a catch. But because that is what we offer, I want to make sure they know that's what we do, because they don't know me, like me, or trust me yet. These emails are going to people who don't know Ira Bowman. At least I don't know they know me. They might know me. They might know Bowman Digital Media because of all the other stuff we do, but I don't know they do. So this is going out to them as a blind email. But look how short and sweet it is. I've got 4 sentences there, right? Even though it looks like 3. That's actually 2 different sentences, but that's it. You go, okay, Ira, well, what's the subject line? The subject line, let me find it real quick, because I don't have this memorized. This is how often I do it. Sorry, I know this is exciting too, but again, this is real life here. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so this is what I call it. I'm just going to put it here on the screen so you can see it. That's the subject line. The subject line is video on how to supercharge your social media networking, because I'm trying to catch their attention. They don't know who I am. So when they get that email in their inbox, the first thing they have to decide is if they're even going to open it. So you want to use, if you can, a subject line that catches their attention. That's really important. If you have a low open rate, your subject line needs to be fixed, or you've got an attachment on there that's blocking you from even getting opened. So you could be using an attachment, and I don't suggest attachments in emails for cold emails, right? For cold outreach, don't use attachments, because too many programs will basically, they'll capture it, they'll block it or restrict it. So it'll go straight to the spam folder, or you'll get a bounce rejection saying, the web host has rejected your email. That's another reason why I do all my emails one at a time. I don't do anything automated in mass. Every single email goes out to one person. My open rates, my click-through rates are, I'm going to tell you this, just not to brag, but they're higher than yours. I don't care who you are. I'll put my numbers up against anybody. My method's slower, definitely slower. And that's the opportunity cost that I face. But my kill rate is really high. I'm pretty good at what I do, just so you know. Okay. So, but that's the thought process behind what I'm doing and what I'm teaching others to do. You have to consider all of it. You can't just say, well, I'm in a rush, so I'm going to send out 5,000 emails today. Well, you could do that if you want. You could piss off 4,999 people, and you can get 3 platforms to blacklist your email address so that they never even give you another shot in the future, because you're now marked as a spammer. And that's the opportunity cost of doing it your way with MailChimp or whatever, right? So everything has opportunity cost. My opportunity cost is, I'm a turtle in the race, but I'm a lovable turtle, right? People like Mr. Tortoise because Mr. Tortoise gives me individual emails. He doesn't send me stuff that's like too long to read. He's not trying to tell me how wonderful his company is. He's asking me questions he's trying to get to know me. And I don't bombard them with 3 emails in a weekend either. That's the other thing, the volumes. Holy moly, guys. Back your volumes down, way down. What is an appropriate frequency to send stuff out? Well, it depends a little bit on your industry. It depends a little bit on your target. But I'm going to tell you that it's probably never more than once every couple weeks. Like if you're sending, I used to work for a company. Every time they would put something on their website and it fit a category, like the client was in a category, they would get an email. I'm like, no wonder people hit that unsubscribe button so fast. Like they can't get to that unsubscribe button fast enough because you guys are you're killing them. Even for people who actually would be interested in what we're sending out, because of the volumes, the velocity with which you're sending and the frequency with which you're sending these things, you're just killing it for us sales folks. And they did not care. They were clueless to it. And it cost me more deals than I could shake a stick at. I mean, it was ridiculous because now I'm trying to send a client an email that I wrote to them, but they've unsubscribed from our domain, right? So I can't get an email through because everything coming from this company was just considered spam at that point. So that's a lot about email marketing. That's a lot about marketing in general. I hope that helps. Look, I've probably irritated a few of you, and I know that, but being uncomfortable is going to benefit you here because you've been taught a lot of crap or you've made assumptions that are crap. And I need to show you why they're crap and then help educate you on the right way to do it so that you can get better results. Look, none of you are paying me. None of you watching are paying me for this information. It's free. Take it or leave it. But I'll promise you that if you take it and you apply it, you will find that it's better. Because for most of you, you've never considered the mountain of people that, like you send out 1,000 emails hoping to get one response. You never considered what happened to the other 999 people. What are they thinking about me? What are they doing with my information when do you just assume they're going to hit the delete button and that's the worst that could happen? Heck no, that's not the worst that can happen, because in email campaigns, if they identify you as spam, right, the sending emails, that the programs, the applications behind the scenes, they're tracking that too. And they go, oh, okay, well, we're not even going to work with this email address anymore because we know it's garbage. Your click rate, your response rates are important, but also your rate of how many times you've been marked as spam. That also matters. Plus, what kind of reputation do you want? Do you want a reputation that when people see your name, they recognize it? Oh, that's the company that spams me all the time? Yeah, that's good. That's what we all want to do business with, that person, right? No, we don't. I don't know what I don't need. Oh, I think he says I need to go. I was like, what does that mean? Well, it's nice to see you. Would you agree the word of mouth is always a good introduction? 100%. So at Bowman Digital Media, I can just speak for myself here. Most of the business comes from referrals, right? Word of mouth referrals. So I don't actually spend any money in advertising, which is amazing. It's a blessing. But partly I don't need to, because you treat people like people. And then when you get them, when they order, you do a good job for them. Right. So, and then the other thing that I've done, which is a little bit different than my industry, this is one of the ways that Bowman Digital Media is different than most of the other marketing companies out there who offer the services that we offer. Well, there's lots of things that are different if you really want to get into it, but this is different too. The fact is, I don't do long-term contracts. Everything is month to month. What does that mean if you're month to month? That means if you don't see the value in what I'm doing, if I'm not providing the results that you're looking for, you can terminate at any time. We're done. And you're not stuck. So that gives me pressure to always perform and add that value. Like, I've got to keep earning your business. And I know that's crazy in some sense, but that's the kind of business that I want. I don't want anyone to ever feel like, oh, they're stuck with my company. No, if you don't like the videos that we're putting out, if you don't like the photos we take, if you don't like the website performance, if you don't like the results of the SEO campaign that we're running, if you don't like the Google Ads results, I mean, I've had companies fire me. They're not with me anymore. That's okay. They don't badmouth me. They decide to go in a different direction. I'm okay with that. But every one of those companies has come to me for the most part. It's been word of mouth. It's been a referral because of the way I treat people. I give my clients so much more than they pay for. It's ridiculous. Because I am very conscious about value. I'm not looking at the invoice as much as I'm looking at the value of what you're getting. So I do freebies for my clients all the time, but I appreciate it, And we broke 6 figures in 11 months at Bowman Digital Media. We're doing fine. Word of mouth. Love word of mouth. Now, that doesn't mean that the other stuff is not effective, right? We do get clients from social media posts. We do get clients from emails. I actually just ordered business cards. I hadn't done it because of the pandemic. So I'm like, I'm not going to go anywhere. So what do I need business cards for? But I just went to Vegas. We talked about that. So I'm going to share some pictures of Vegas in a second. But I wish I had the business cards with me, because as I'm taking these photos, people are asking me for my card. In fact, I was doing an MMA shoot. I was there to shoot one person, to take photographs of one person. And I knew it was going to happen. I was going to get other fighters who would see me doing the shoots and say, hey, can you take a shot of me? Or, some of them I got just because they're in the background. I said, hey, do you want me to tag you on Instagram? And you know what I mean? It's one of those things. So anyways, I ended up getting to do the whole sparring. They were in this cage, this sparring session. They all got together to do a group photo with me. And some of these guys you'll recognize from the UFC. There are some UFC fighters in that group. But anyways, I didn't have cards to hand out. You have to understand how I've made my living. I was an outside sales rep, business to business sales rep for 20 years, 20 plus years. And I'm good at going to companies and introducing myself and, building that rapport, know, like, trust. That's how I learned it. I learned it by doing. And anyways, I'm good at that. I haven't done any of that yet for Bowman Digital Media because of the pandemic. Because I was trying to be respectful, like, don't go and breathe on them when, everybody's just trying to make a living right now. So, but now that, in California, things are opening back up, I feel like it's time to get started with that. So I'll do some of that. So the percentage of business coming in from cold call efforts or cold outreach is probably a better way to say that, will change. The proportions will change over the next couple months. Plus I have more staff. My wife and my daughter are both on the team. In fact, my daughter just got home from college on Friday. So she's home. So she's an intern at Bowman Digital Media. She has been for a while. She was actually the first one to join the team officially. But anyway, she's going to be sitting in here doing a lot of the video and some of the graphics. My wife is learning how to do graphics as well. So I don't need to do as much of the output for the clients as I have this first year. So I'll be able to focus more on the sales part, which is frankly the part that I'm the best at anyways. So Bowman Digital Media, we're just getting started, man. We're just getting more in depth. But for those of you who are watching, right, if you are not asking for referrals, to Mariola's point, you have not, this is what the Bible says, you have not because you ask not, right? And then sometimes you don't have because you ask amiss, but that's another part of the story. So if you're not asking your clients for referrals, ask them. Like a lot of times people don't give you referrals, not because they wouldn't, because they're not thinking of it. Because most of us, frankly, are thinking about ourselves and our problems and our situations. We're not thinking about you. That's why when we get emails from you and we don't know you, we don't care. It's not that what you said was offensive or whatever. It's just like you totally missed the mark because you weren't aiming correctly. You were telling us how wonderful you are, and what we really care about is what is affecting us. So if you can say, hey, do you need some help with this, like in the form of a question, and then provide a solution, what we call solution-based selling technique, that will be more effective. But I say take it even further and don't sell anything. Just get them to know who you are and to start to like and trust you. You're not going to accomplish all that in one email, likely, especially with 3 or 4 sentences. But add value. Address them where they are. Talk about what they're interested in. It isn't you. They don't know you yet. That's what you're going to do on social media. So your emails to them, you're going to provide value just to catch their attention. And then on social media, you're going to inform them who you are and what you do. And don't just do that. Do more than that. There's a whole strategy there too. But if you can take your emails, okay, and if this is the only thing you take from this today, understand what we're doing in marketing is we're trying to identify our target prospects. We're trying to understand what's happening in our vertical market and in our overall market, right? So what's happening in the economy as a whole, whether that's local, national, or global, depending on what type of business you are. But understand what's happening in the market as a whole, like inflation is about to go through the roof, right? Hey, elections have consequences, whether you like it or not, right? You vote for these things, that's what's going to happen. So we give away trillions of dollars and we just telling you, if you haven't figured it out, inflation's coming, right? So if you know that, can you get yourself in a position to take advantage of that or to add value as prices start to skyrocket? Okay. That's what you got to understand, where you are in the market, what's coming, what's trending, because it's like aiming at a moving target. If you aim where the target is right now, you're going to miss it because by the time your shot gets there, it's going to have moved. So you've got to aim ahead. That's marketing for real. Okay. So then make sure that you're adjusting once you shoot some of these shots. Do A/B testing, try a couple different things out. But in your emails, in your email outreach or your phone outreach, if you can provide value, just so they know who you are, that's the objective. Just get to know me, know who I am, my name, my company. Don't send them a brochure. Don't spew on them what they could read on your about page on your website, right? That's what the website and the social media is going to help with. The email is just to catch their attention and get them to like you if you can, right? And it might take 7 emails to do that. That's okay. It's called a drip campaign. No problem, right? So short emails about them, address the things that they want, that they need. Even if they don't know it yet, it's coming. Because I promise you, if you send them something about a future thing that's going to bug them, but they don't even pay attention to that first time, they're going to remember that when it happens. Like if you're ahead, if you become, it's like the person, there was a scam artist. He would get, a basketball game or football game, and he would send to half the list, he would predict the winner. Half the list would get the one name, half the list would get the other name. Then he would do it again, only to the people that he got right for another game. And by the time 3 or 4 games go by, these guys are like, man, this guy's a genius. I need to call him and pay him to tell me who's going to win before the game so that I can bet right. And that was the scam. They didn't really know. They just were subdividing. It was a series of A/B tests, okay, a funnel. And so a lot of people, I call those snake oil salesmen. That's not the right way to do things. But anyways, that was a scam tactic. Okay, so if you can do it legitimately, send them stuff because of your marketing research, of your analysis, of your data analysis, they will start to pay attention. It may not happen the first time, it may not happen the second time, but over a campaign, they're going to start to figure out, wow, these people actually know what they're doing and they can help me, and I need to get to know more about them. Now they're going to start to go to your social media, most likely first, and or your website. But most people these days are going, social media. So make sure you have a social media page. Make sure you're using it, you're updating it, it's active, you're not ignoring people, all that stuff. Make sure it's polished. And then also, of course, maintain your websites. All these things contribute to a successful marketing. It's not one component, it's all of them. But if you followed me with the strategy today, that's marketing. That's a marketing thought process from not even beginning to end, but it gives you a pretty good overview. So I've teased my Vegas trip. Oh, okay, no problem. Well, we've been talking about marketing. That's what we do on the show. Nothing. We did an overall what is marketing, and then we've been really hitting email marketing heavy today. So if you guys are interested in email marketing, just rewind the tape and it'll help you out. I even gave you a sample of one, a real world one that I use for my email campaign right now for cold outreach. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. So I shot this picture. It's one of a lot of pictures that I shot. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So it's funny because, fighters don't usually smile when they're working out. But when Ira's your photographer, one of the things that Ira's going to do is Ira's actually going to try to make you laugh. But I want to show this is what I'm talking about right here. So I shoot everything in RAW. And so I got all these people asking me, "Hey, Ira, can you send me my photos? I know you're not gonna, have time to edit them for a few days, but can you send me?" I'm like, if I send you RAW, this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see nothing. So unless you are a photo editor or you have Photoshop or Lightroom or something like that, you're not going to be able to open them up. So, okay, so there is that. Now I'm in the process of getting all these files ready, but I put on Facebook. Hang on, I'm sorry. Was it Facebook? I think I did Facebook and I did LinkedIn. Hang on a second. Bear with me for just a second. I'm going to pull up some photos. I'm going to try to pull up some photos. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So there's one. There's me at the stadium. So that's Allegiant Stadium. That's the new Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas. Now, full disclosure, I grew up in Las Vegas, so I'm very excited that the Raiders are there. But I've also lived in the Bay Area a long time. Now, I live in Southern California now, but we moved down here at the end of 2019. In fact, I think we actually moved in January of 2020 down here. But we bought the house in December. So I'm there. I used to have season tickets in Oakland. So this is kind of it's one of those things where I have mixed because I have ties to both. But anyways, I've been a Raider fan my whole life. So there's one of the photos from my trip. This is me and my daughter at the Las Vegas sign. Now, I actually shot the back side of that, but it's still raw. So I haven't imported it yet. So I'll be posting more of these later. Now, if you're interested in seeing my Las Vegas photos, what I want you to do is I actually want you to go to my Instagram page and just follow me there because that's where I'm going to be sharing most of them. I probably won't be doing a lot. I probably won't be doing a ton on here. I'm just going to share this real quick. So if you come here, you can see this is the guy that I was shooting. That's me and my wife. So these are a couple that I took with my iPhone. I don't typically share a lot of that on Instagram from my iPhone. But if you want to find me, all you got to do is just put it on the chats. So click on that. You can find me on Instagram and follow me there, and you'll see more of the pictures. I took just shy of 1,000 pictures over 3 days. I took a ton of pictures. Now, a lot of them are duplicates because I was shooting quick. The guys, punching and kicking and they're sparring and all those things. So there's a lot that I probably won't share, but I'll probably end up sharing maybe 50 to 100 of those photos. We did. I spent some time on the Strip. So I got shots of the Strip. We were at the Bass Pro Outlet, which some of you are like, Bass Pro Outlet, what's that all about? We were there. They have some cool nature stuff. So inside the store, they have like waterfalls and fish and turtles. And there was a fish in there that I think was taller than me. Like if I was to lay out in the water straight and lay next to this thing, is bigger than me. I don't even know what kind of fish it was because I'm not. That's really not what, thank you. That's not what I am about. And thank you so much, Michelle Rawl, too. Appreciate y'all. Anyways, there's pictures of the Las Vegas sign, the backside of the sign. There's pictures of the Strip. Let's see. I know I got the New York, the MGM, the Excalibur. I don't think I got any of the Luxor. I got some of Bellagio. I don't think I got any of the MGM. I might have got some of the MGM, Caesar's Palace, the Forum Shops. The Forum Shops, when I lived in Vegas, that was actually one of my clients, was the at the Forum Shops at Caesar's Palace, which is actually owned by Simon Properties. But anyways, I took some shots there too. Always loved the inside of that place. Super cool. So anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys, thank you, Paul. I hope you guys learned something about marketing and email marketing specifically. Again, we do this show every week. So every week we have a new topic. I've been doing more solo. This has been a show where I've traditionally had guests with me. I booked a bunch of guests and then I stopped booking guests. So I need to do some outreach and book some more guests. But I'm trying to just do some marketing foundational lessons for you guys. And the reason why is because so many people are confused what marketing actually is. And each week I bring in specialists who like specialize in one thing. But I just want to give you guys, like, if I can, a better overall view, like a 30,000 foot view of what marketing is, so you even understand how it all works. Again, it's not sales. It's not advertising. But sales and advertising are kinfolk to marketing. You certainly use marketing in your sales efforts and your advertising efforts, especially if you're doing it right. But sales itself is not marketing. There's the process of sales is, letting someone know the product or service that you're selling and then getting them to actually make the purchase. Marketing is more about the front end of that, but we also want to analyze what's happening with these campaigns so that we can make adjustments. Because if you're getting people to know about you, but they're not buying from you, you're missing something. It could be that your sales team is not doing a good job. It could be that you're not helping your sales team find the right audience, right? So that's part of it. And then advertising, again, is the individual, piece, whether that be, an email campaign, a social media campaign, a radio spot, a TV spot, newspaper ad, all kinds of different advertising out there, right? There's even SMS advertising now for text messages, believe it or not, right? But the fact is that individual piece or component or the campaign of all the pieces that are tied together, that's advertising. And what happens in that campaign is something that we would study in marketing to figure out if that campaign was successful or not. Again, I hope I'm not speaking nonsense to you or it's going over your head. Hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying. But anyways, if there's no more questions for today, I'm going to bounce. I'll see you again next week. This show happens every Monday. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's 2 p.m. Eastern, or you can time adjust for wherever you are. Again, my name is Ira Bowman. I am the owner of Bowman Digital Media. If you do not like marketing, but you need help with marketing, we are available to help you at Bowman Digital Media. And the website is really simple. It's bowmandigitalmedia.com. If you want to shoot me an email, you can message me at ira@bowmandigitalmedia.com. It's really that simple. Just my name, the @ symbol, and bowmandigitalmedia.com. And I hope you all have a fantastic week and that your marketing efforts help drive business through the roof for you. Have a great day, everybody. BowmanDigitalMedia.com.